Richie Ruckus beats.
What's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Richie Ruckus. We're back here. It's Friday. It's the beginning of the weekend. We didn't get to do a Soulmate series episode this week. A lot of stuff going on. I finally just got my car back. It's 9:30 on Thursday, and I finally have my car back. So, $800 later, I finally got my car out of the PPA's grasp and finally got PennDOT to, straighten out everything on my registration. So things have just been hectic and I haven't really been able to vlog as much as I wanted to this week. Sorry for the inconsistency. I promise, I swear to you, next week will be 5 videos, Monday through Friday. My subscriber base is growing and the views are growing, and I don't want you guys to think that, I don't care about the channel or anything like that, because that's the furthest thing from reality. That being said, today's top video is going to be a little bit crazy. But before we jump into that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you're already not subscribed to my channel. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up if you feel the content that I'm putting out there. And make sure you guys follow me on all social. With that being said, today's video is the top 5 Kanye West sneakers of all time and the top 5 Kanye West albums of all time. These are not fact or anything like that. These are just my opinion on both subjects, although I don't think anyone will be able to argue me with the music. Maybe the newer generation and younger kids out there will compile a different list than me. But the sneaker side, that's up to interpretation. Without further ado, let's jump into this. We'll do the top 5 sneakers, then the top 5 albums. And this list, guys, is going to be colorway excluded. It's just going to be model, because if I did colorways, it would be, I don't even think I could do a top 5 list. Coming in at number 5 is the Bape Kanye West collab of the Dropout Bear. This sneaker, when it came out, was at the height of the Air Force One craze. Bape was just exploding onto the scene, and I just felt like that Bape and Kanye killed this collab. It's a dope sneaker. It's timeless. You can wear that sneaker any day of the week, and I just feel like that sneaker really just set the precedent in forefront with music artists really having dope sneaker collabs. Don't get me wrong, Jay-Z with the S. Carter collection with Reebok, dope sneaker. The 50 Cent G-Unit sneakers, for what they were a cool sneaker. But just Kanye sneakers, music artist, no one's topping him. And at number 5 is the Bape Kanye West Dropout Bear. Coming in at number 4 is, a sneaker I think I was going to put on the list originally, but then after thinking of just his whole sneaker portfolio, I felt like these sneakers definitely had to be on the list. And coming in at number 4 is the Louis Vuitton Kanye West Louis Vuitton Don sneakers. All 3 colorways were dope. The all reds, obviously my favorite, but you couldn't go wrong with a fresh pair of the Louis Vuitton Don sneakers on. And for that reason, number 4, Louis Vuitton Don Kanye West.
So, I ask myself this question, and you can ask yourself the same. Who do you know? Who do you know with 2 thumbs in their own Louis shoe? This guy.
Coming in at number 3 is the Kanye Adidas Yeezy 350 V2 Boost, all colorways. I'm not going to break this down. There's too many dope colorways, especially the V2, for me to even sit here and try to dissect which one should be on this list. They're probably my favorite model out of all the Yeezys. I just feel like they were all dope sneakers, so I had to get them in the top 3. I wanted to maybe push them a little further a little higher up on the list. The next 2 sneakers I just feel like have to be the top 2 because of what they stand for. Coming in at number 2 is the Nike Air Yeezy 2. This sneaker, I feel like this and the Air Yeezy 1 are a very similar sneaker. First one caused craze, this one caused chaos. And the Red October, seemed like it was never going to release, and then Nike just dropped it out of the blue and dropped it on us. It was a quick strike release, and the Nike Air Yeezy 2 Red October, set this precedent with red sneakers. Don't get me wrong, the Louis Vuitton Don reds are a dope sneaker. But the Red October just caused mayhem and inspired so many other sneaker companies to steal these colorways. It's crazy. I feel like the Red October just, was what set the 2 and 1 apart from each other. I mean, it was so bad that they started making Kobe 9s in the Red October. Red sneakers were, for years, like, you know how serious a sneaker has to be that it influences the color of sneakers for years? And just the Air Yeezy 2, I just wish, part of me wishes Kanye never left Nike or didn't leave Nike when he did. Because if I know anything about Kanye West and if I know anything about Nike, there are so many dope sneaker concepts that they never got to do that it just eats me alive that we as sneakerheads and just we as people never got to see them. It's the top spot, guys. Number 1. What do you think it's going to be? You're right. It's the Adidas Kanye West Yeezy 350. This sneaker, the 750 was the first one we seen leaked. And, a lot of people bashed the 750, just like a lot of people bashed the Calabasas, and a lot of people bashed the Wave Runners, and then everybody buys them and resells them at crazy astronomical prices. But I feel like the Yeezy 350, everybody's seen that picture, and no one thought that sneaker was trash. Everybody knew that sneaker was changing the game. Kanye's influence on sneakers is crazy, and a lot of people don't know it. You'll see people who don't collect sneakers wearing Ultra Boost, and they have no idea that before Kanye wore them, only runners wore them. Like, that's how... He wore a sneaker, wasn't his sneaker, wore an Adidas sneaker, and you could not get a triple white Ultra Boost forever. They were constantly out of stock, constantly on back order. He did a similar thing when he was with Nike, with the Flyknit trainers. They just re-released today. Oreos, sold out right away. They were reselling back, when they originally dropped, the OGs dropped, for crazy resale value because Kanye was seen in a picture, him and Kim, with him having them on. His influence on sneakers it really is parallel to Michael Jordan. I don't want to say he jumped over to Jumpman, but his sneaker influence... to be that close to Michael Jordan and to not be an athlete, that is just remarkable. I feel like the Adidas 350, it was like, all right, boom. The 750 looked too much like the older Nike Kanye sneakers for me, and I feel like he dropped the 350 and it was just like, boom. No inspiration from Nike, taking nothing from my Nike shoe deal. This is a completely new design. The Prime Knit, the Boost... The outsole of that sneaker is just beautifully done, and the colorways, whether it be the Oxford Tan, the Pirate Black, the Moon Rocks, the Turtle Doves, he just bodied that sneaker. I would be remiss to say that sneaker's not in the top 5 sneakers of all time, just for what it was. Michael Jordan was groundbreaking with basketball sneakers. If Kanye West is not the number 1 most influential person in casual sneakers, then I don't know who is. And I would be hard-pressed to find somebody that I could say influences casual sneaker purchasing than Kanye West.
I just told you who I thought I was. A god.
Well, that's it, guys. That is the top 5 Kanye West sneakers of all time. It's time to switch this over to the music. I'll give you a quick rundown. Obviously, Kanye has 7 solo albums. Then there's the Good Music collabs, the Watch the Throne collab. These top 5 are his top 5 solo albums. So 2 have to get left off the list. Top 5 Kanye West albums. We're going to jump right into this list. Coming in at number 5, YEEZYS. I know a lot of people hated this album when they first heard it. I particularly was one of them. I didn't hate it. Hate's a strong word, especially when it comes to me with Yeezy's music. But it was just a crazy album. Kanye's a crazy person. He's a genius, but he's a crazy person. And, Bound, great song. But then, Black Skinhead, when them drums start in the beginning of that song.
Oh my...
If you don't just feel your heart pounding out of your chest, you're not human. The beginning of that beat is just, it's very... reminds me so much of Marilyn Manson's Beautiful People. Like, you don't even have to listen to rock music to hear them drums in the beginning of that song, and it gives me goosebumps. It just brings me to life. And, that Kanye's music does that to me. There's a few musical artists who do. He, happens to be one of them. Coming in at number 4 is my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Classic album. Classic Kanye. There's such great tracks on this album. My favorite Kanye song, definitely top 2 favorite Kanye song is on this album. But he had All the Lights with, Rihanna, the All the Lights interlude, which is just bananas, leading up to that song. Power was on that album. Dark Fantasy was on that album with Nicki Minaj doing the intro to that song. Gorgeous with Kid Cudi and Raekwon. Monster with Nicki, Jay-Z, and Rick Ross. One of my top 2 favorite Ye songs of all time is on there with Runaway. That piano intro was crazy. Matter of fact, you guys heard my remake of it somewhere in this video, whether they put it in the beginning, middle, end. But as you guys know, I do make all my own music for this, and I usually never remake beats, but that song is just so dope to me, and it's just the simplicity of that song is just, and how powerful it is just amazing. So coming in at number 4, my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Coming in at number 3. Now this is where it gets tough for me for 2 and 3. Number 1 is without a doubt number 1 to me. But at number 3, we had to go Life of Pablo. I feel like Kanye stepped out of his comfort zone slightly on YEEZYS and, exposed us to like a new form of Kanye and just dope beats and dope music but just, it was, I feel like it was just a little bit of different Ye. And then Life of Pablo came out, and I feel like he fully experimented on this album. I feel like it's probably his most experimental album, whether it be, Father Stretch My Hands.
You're the only power that can save this world today, yeah. You're the only power that can save this world today, yeah.
With, him remaking that old choir gospel song, throwing a synth over it and, adding bass and everything. And then doing part 2, which was just over the Panda beat by Designer. And, the Taylor Swift controversy with this album, just everything. I just feel like he was very experimental and it paid off. I mean, he apparently went, billions of dollars in debt over this album. I feel like, I'm not the one who spent the money, but I felt like it was worth it. Coming in at number 2, the album that we fell in love with when he bursted onto the scene, his solo project, The College Dropout, the old Kanye. Yay, just classic soul samples chopped up and, just 808s, and this was the Kanye West that, like, everybody knew forever. And, no one was really doing the soul sample chopping other than the RZA. I mean, yeah, people have been sampling music forever. People have been sampling music in hip-hop forever. But no one was really sampling soul music like this other than the RZA. And that's why I think White Dress, Kanye and RZA produced together is one of the most fire songs of all time. It's definitely my favorite Kanye song of all time. But just no one was doing what Ye was doing at that time other than the RZA. And I feel like, if I neck and neck production-wise, they're probably, just neck and neck with each other. I'll go Kanye 1A, RZA, 1B. But that's like the album that introduced us to Ye, and he finally stepped from behind the boards and into the booth, and, with Through the Wire, doing that whole album with his jaw wired shut was just bananas. There's only 3 albums this could be, and it's probably the one none of yous are thinking. 808 and Heartbreaks, number 1 Kanye West album of all time. I will not be argued into thinking otherwise. Leave comments down below, bash me down below, do what you please, but 808 and Heartbreaks is the greatest Kanye West album of all time. It's undebatable in my opinion. As much as an experimental album The Life of Pablo was, no one was doing what Ye did on the 808s and Heartbreaks. I feel like the beat making into that, the production into that album is just crazy. Yeah, maybe he used auto-tune a little too much, but he brought that into his production on Graduation. So, like, the auto-tune hatred for this album I just think is crazy because he did it on Graduation. T-Pain has been around before 808s and Heartbreaks. Shit. You know, and that's not even where it came from. George Clinton and the Funkadelics were around before 808s and Heartbreaks. So, I just think it's, it was the most emotional Ye we've seen. It was the most vulnerable Ye we've seen. And I think musically it was the best Ye that we've seen. I'm not saying he can't top it, but up until right now, August 25th, 2017, Kanye West has not made a better album than 808 and Heartbreaks, and that is not a shot at Ye. It is just how great that album is. And it's my favorite album of all time, bar none, hands down, the greatest piece of music I have ever heard. And it's not just hip-hop, not just rap, it's anything. My music knowledge is very, very vast. And to say that that is the most creative, influential music and light years ahead of its time would be just the tip of the iceberg on the accolades that album should receive.
Best in the world, lollipop, the best in the world.
But that's it, guys. Number 1, 808s and Heartbreaks. I'm Richie Ruckus. He's Kanye West. Until next time, peace.